Check his team.
So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to F1 on FTRL. After stepping into the unknown last week with Mystery Week, we are back on familiar territory with a little bit more insight of what's going on, with round 11 of season 15 coming from Circuit de Paul Ricard, or the French car park, as it probably is probably more accurately now describe the circuits. Joining me on comms as ever is Mr. Max Def. Good evening, Max.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, bonjour, ça va?
Ça va très bien et toi?
Good, very good. So, Mystery Week last week, obviously ended up at Bahrain in changeable conditions. Had the desired effect, I think. We had a bit of a mix-up in the order, but still, familiar faces came to the fore last week.
Yes.
So here we are now back with round 11 from Paul Ricard, of course, which replaced Manicourt as the French Grand Prix after a number of years off the calendar. And obviously he's now went over a test circuit, Paul Ricard, these days, which explains, of course, why it's pretty much just tarmacked everywhere with all these coloured stripes to sort of depict where the track is. It's just not the easiest thing on the eye anymore, but still quite a decent challenge for the drivers, don't you think?
I think it is. It's a tough track, definitely. Also, turn 1 and 2, first left right-hander, high-speed corners, hard braking, good passing possibilities, great possibilities of having a good race.
Indeed, of course, the long back straight here was one of the good big opportunities for overtaking here. So let's see how we get on then. First one to be coming around is going to be AP. So once he gets around the final couple of corners, we'll go on board for a lap of Paul Ricard. Oh, he has a bit of a slide there, just getting the tyres up to temperature. And I've just seen in the chat that Sway has mentioned something about rain, which could be interesting come the race. It looks very dry and sunny now, so I don't think we're going to get any rain in qualifying. However, in the race, it looks like the Cursive Agent Panda might be striking Div 1. But here we go then, a flying lap of Paul Ricard on board with AP. So he charged down the start, finish straight, then into turns 1 and 2, a chicane getting all the way down to 5th gear, 120 miles an hour the first part. Flicks through the left and the right now, back onto this slightly curved straight. Down towards turn 3, another quick right left. And this very tricky second gear corner, yep, right-hander there. Short blast, hook up on the inside, then use all the track over to the right-hand side, picks up the apex on the left, and now on the acceleration up the back straight. Now, of course, for the GT races here, they use pretty much the entire straight. However, on F1, they use the chicane halfway down. Obviously, you've got no real reference point, so it's very tricky to pick your braking point. He picks it up nicely, gets through the little triangle chicane, and back onto the back straight again. All the way back up to the 8th gear, 194 miles an hour as he turns into this fast right-hander. He has invalidated there through that corner, and this tricky, ever-lasting right-hander then sweeps to the outside, back for second apex, picks the speed back up again, and another off-camber left-hander here hooks up the curb nicely. Out uses all the curb on exits. There again, this long right-hander into the tricky left-hander. He then peels up into the pit lane as he has abandoned his lap.
Sam Gamer on a very good level, so.
Up Sam Gamer then, so he comes out of the final corner up towards the start finish straight, and he sets the first flying lap time, which is a 1:27.1. So there is the first benchmark. And let's see who else we have got on lap. We've got Adam Mako on lap. He's just coming up to the final corner now. No, not, it's a light at the bottom of the car. I can't tell where anybody is. It's all just blue lines everywhere. It all looks the same. Who is coming up to the end of the laps? Alfa Romeo, that will be Zumpy. So the season 13 champ. He sets a 28.6. And is that Tika coming up behind him? Nope, it is one of the AlphaTauris. He's just starting a lap. Ox goes 28.4. Drops into second. Had a very brief return last week. Unfortunately, didn't last all that long for him. Enduro Chris goes up into P2 then, so our resident French driver has put himself provisionally onto the front row of the grid.
Here comes Scuba.
Here comes Scuba, man, who's going to have to fight back after having a trying week last week. 27-7. Pops himself onto the front row of the grid, but that is a big gap already to Sam Gamer. Looking very, very handy. We've got one of the hazards coming along. It's Wesker who goes P3 on a 28 flat. Here comes Adam Mako, 28.5 for him. Now Tom Duval coming out the final corner. Of course, one of the stars of last week. He's just started a flying lap, in fact. Where's that Tico at the final corner now? Or is he at the bottom of the track? He's at the bottom of the track again. There's twice that's caught me out. Lynx goes P4. He had a very strong run last week as well. Came in P5, I believe it was at the end for him. Quite a lonely race, but I think he'll be happy with the solid points he picks up. This Callboy drops into P8 on a 28.5. So that lap from Sam Gamer is looking very handy already on his first flying run then. So Tico, Dutch, both on flying laps. Dutch is a little bit further up the road from Tico, so we'll go on board with Dutch Tricks. Finished second last time out.
Yep.
No, tell a lie, he's actually further back. It's Scuba ahead of Tico, so we'll go back on board with Tico. He is a little bit further up into the third sector than this long winding right-hander. And a very tricky left. Oh, he's been a little bit wide there, locks up. In fact, no, he's taken that line perfectly. In fact, I thought he'd run wide, but late apex. Takes corner nicely into the penultimate corner. Again, long, gotta wait. Took over into the final corner. Again, locks that inside wheel. And now the sprint to fall the line. What does he do on the timesheets? He goes second on a 27.6, but still half a second down. Sam Gamer, so he goes just a tenth faster. Dutch Tricks does a 27.4, but again, he's still 0.3 of a second down. That's a big gap. Sam Gamer really has put down a gauntlet early on here. You've got Lennon and Jax on the flying lap. Who is further up? I think Lennon's just ahead of Jax, isn't he? Yep, they're both coming through the chicane on the back straight. So go on board with Lennon now, who's pulled to the inside. Does he know he's on camera? Oh, he's invalidated his lap time, so he's bailed out of that lap. I think he saw himself on camera, thought he'd just check himself out in the mirror, and has invalidated his lap time.
Coming there.
On board with Jackson, he comes into this long sweeping right-hander. Apexes nicely. Through the left. Now this winding right-hander. Flick it into the left, hug that curve on the inside, drift away a little bit, then come back over for the second apex and get over to the left for the final corner through the right-hander. And now it's just a sprint to the line. Where is he going to go? He moves up to P12, 29.1. So currently the 12th fastest time.
Definitely some room for improvement.
Yeah, definitely room for improvement. I think he's got half a second to make up to catch Zumpy, who's in P11 at the moment, and so a bit of time in there for him. Sam Gamer's out on track again. So not content with his 27.1, he's going for another lap.
We've got Sway. Oh no, Sway.
Evening Zomar in the chat. He's Team Pagani. And Lennon, you do look good, Lennon. But try and focus on the track first. Get lap time set, then look yourself in the mirror. There's a good budgie. AP then, that start a flying lap. Who have we got? Who's on a lap? We've got Sway as well. So yeah, Sway and AP both just starting a lap then. So Sway had really good pace last week, but again, I think he just got some late damage and dropped him down the order, and then had a puncher on the last lap as well, just to compound his misery. Ended up by spinning off into the pit lane right at the very end. Give us all a bit of a chuckle, and didn't affect his finishing position though.
We do have a purple sector this way.
So he's gone purple through the first sector then. Onto the back straight he goes. Heading up towards the chicane. It's very like I say, there's no real reference points in terms of where it is. Normally you've got trees or the barrier you can see disappears, but obviously the barriers are really far away from the track here, so they're not really a good reference points as to where you need to be braking. So
Exactly.
yeah, drivers, I mean, part of me wishes you just had the long back straight, to be honest, but yeah, everyone cars will probably be topping out at over 200 miles an hour by the time they come into that right-hander there. Here we go, then flinging it through this long sweeping right-hander. Double apex, you apex at the beginning, drift all the way out to the outside. Look over again, they're taking that wide line, late apex.
Oh,
Oh, had a bit of a wobble there as he got out the corner. Going to cost him a tenth or so. Now one more corner to go. Very tricky, slow right-hander. Oh, big kick of oversteer as well as he gets on the power out the final corner. Catches it nicely, but that's going to lost him some more time. And for now, he slots into P7, but you would think he may have been P5 had he not had those two little moments at the end of his lap there.
He must have lost 0.4, something like that, with those two wobbles.
Yeah, he definitely lost at least a tenth of a second, which would have put him into P5. Might have been in and around Scuba's time, but we will never know. Meanwhile, Sam Gamer has lowered the benchmark. He's into the 26s, 26.9. So
Not
already, yeah, so he got that lead back up to half a second again. He is looking very, very handy at this stage. Who have we got? We've got CR7 coming around then. Of course, star of Spa. A couple of weeks ago, didn't have such a great run last time out. Didn't like the wet conditions in Bahrain. How is he going to get on here at Paul Ricard? As he comes into the final few corners. Yep, Scuba jumps back ahead of Tico. Takes a couple of tenths off his best. Here comes CR7. He goes second and into the 26s as well.
Yes.
So we might have a fight on our hands after all.
Great lap.
So CR7 then goes P2 on a 26.995. Sam Gamer on a 26.906. So now less than a tenth of a second between your top two.
I'll see what Dush can bring out of his lap now.
Yep, Dutch Tricks then. He is, whereabouts on the track is he? He's just started. Yep, just started his lap. Now, is Tico ahead of him on the road? I believe so. He's on the back straight. Yeah, we'll pick up Tico first then. If you want to keep an eye on Dutch, I'll keep an eye on Tico. Coming down to the chicane. In fact, he's validated his lap time, so we'll go back on board with Dutch.
Looks pretty okay till now. Just had a little worry.
Into sector
lockup.
2. So we'll get an idea of where he's at on this little straight now up towards the next corner. So he comes to the sector point. He is a tenth and a half down, so it's not looking like an improvement on this lap unless he thinks he can find some time in the final sector. If anybody can, it's probably Dutch Tricks. So it's shaping up to be very nice at the front. We've got Dutch, Scuba and Tico all covered by 1.5 tenths. So your top three in the championship, all very close together. But the two new recent additions to the league, 1 and 2 at the moment. Looking very good. Dutch is going to go and complete his lap then, so he thinks he can find some time in the final sector. He needs to find half a second though if he wants to jump up. He does not improve. No, he lost a bit of time in that final sector again. So not an improvement for Dutch Tricks, but currently sat leading off the second row as we head into the final 5 minutes, and now the track will be at its premium in terms of grip. Looking further down the orders, Tico in P5, Oxhox up to P6 with Wesker in P7, Adamako in 8th, Lynx is 9th, and Sway currently rounds out the top 10. You got Enduro Chris in 11th, Callboy 12th, Zumpy in 13th, Tom DeVal 14th, Jax Ashida 15th, Pagani in 16th, and then we've got Graham, AP and Lennon yet to set lap time. So AP's been out a couple of times already. He seems to have even validated his laps so far, so let's see how he gets on.
Is going to improve some here, only a little bit.
He does, up to P12.
Yep.
So on board with AP then, he's onto the back straight, heading up towards the chicane. Into the third sector he goes in, so I'm still looking good. He had to set
starting his lap.
So then just the two Williams and Graham then to set a lap time. Obviously we'll probably expect everybody out for one final run in the not too distant future. Track now had a premium in terms of grip. However, obviously you saw a comment from Sway earlier about possible ability of rain in the race, so are they driving on modified setups? We shall see. Here comes AP, he's going to get this lap time in, and he goes up to P13, 28.5. Gets himself on the board. We've just got Enduro Chris on a lap. He is Yeah, Graham as well. Graham's... Oh, where's Chris? He's at the very start of the lap, and Graham is on the back straight, so yep. We'll stay on board with him. Of course, we had that great result in Spa. Another one who had a really good result in Spa. Safety car again kept the penalties to a minimum. Really leapfrogged him up the order at the end there. See how he gets on here. Nice line there. Oh, just a bit of a drift there through the back end. I've just seen some movement on the board. And Chris has gone up to P7. So, the Frenchman in his home Grand Prix, starting solidly inside the top 10 at the moment. Where is Graham going to end up as he comes to the final corner?
He should have bailed out and take for a new lap to get a chance.
Here he goes then, drives to the line, and goes up to P17, leapfrogs Pagani at 28.7. So then who's going to be first? I think we've got Tico, Oxox, Lynx, Sway, Cowboy and Zumpy on outlaps.
Like everybody's out on track.
Here comes everybody then for that final run. They're going to be very, very busy. Who is going to be the first one to come round? And it looks like possibly one of the racing points. It is Sway. So we're on board with Sway then. He's going to be the first one to cross the line. He's just been dropped out of the top 10 then by Chris jumping up into 7th. Callboy has retired from the session, as has AP. They're not going to improve. Currently 13th and 14th.
Oh, invalidated.
Oh, and that is an invalidation for Sway then, so he will not be improving on his P11.
That's unlucky.
Who have we got behind him? We've got Lynx. Yeah, Lynx is behind him, who currently sits P10. So he will be the last driver to start on the tyres he qualifies on, if it is not a wet race. He too is invalidated though, so yeah, a little bit of pressure at the end here. He's not very happy with himself with that one. Shakes the head of the car. We've got Zumpy behind them. He has not invalidated his lap, so he's carrying on. See him using all the track there and a little bit more as he sweeps into that right-hander, gets as wide an entrance as he can do to keep the speed up. Through this long right-hander down to 4th gear. Apexes beautifully on the exit. Up to P5. The 5th gear, sorry. Briefly to 6th. Down to 3rd then. Here we go. Short blast up the straight. Oxhox has retired. So he has... Looks like he might have spun coming through the chicane, actually. Sumpy then to the final corner. Has he found any time on this lap? Now just sprint to the line. And he... stays 15th. So does not improve. 3/10 down that time.
Yeah, 6-1 down 0-138.
Tico. He improves, goes 3rd on a 27.4. So then where are the Mercedes duo? Dutch Tricks coming. Dutch Tricks is now coming through the last few corners then. Sam Gamer hasn't retired from the session. He's not going to improve. Whereas CR7, he's on the back straight. He's still going to be the 3rd one. So here comes Dutch Tricks then, final corner for him. Sprint to the line. He's just been jumped by Tico by 8 thousandths of a second. Can he find any time on this lap? He can. Back up to 3rd, a 27.2. Yep. Scuba now coming to the line. Does he improve? He does not improve now. Marginally slower. Where is CR7? Out of the final corner. He's invalidated his lap. So he will not improve. So there we have it then. So Sam Gamer comes in with a reputation for being a very quick driver, and he has showed his colours this week. Takes pole position for Paul Ricard. He will lead us off alongside CR7, so a great result from him, just a 10th covering those two. Dutch Tricks lines up 3rd with Tico on the 2nd row. Scuba starts 5th alongside Wesker. Then Oxhox, Adamako, Enduro Chris and Lynx round out the top 10. Tom Duval, star of last week in Bahrain, He'll start P11. And then Sway in 12th. Lennon came home 13th ahead of Jack Tashida. Graham will start P15 ahead of AP. Corboy is 17th, Zumpy 18th, and Pagani is the final runner in 19th. And so, yeah, Graham out qualifying his teammate there as well. Late bit of pace for minutes. There's quite some, like, in terms of the times, some quite tight bunches in there, which bodes well for a good race. Yeah, we could see a bit of a slog out between the two on the front row of the grid. Then they were looking very, very quick in that session.
Both under 127, pretty good time.
Indeed, 20. And there it is. It is raining for the race. So we had changeable conditions last week, as per the mystery man who picked up the stipulations for the race last week. This week, however, the game has decided to give us rain for the race. Agent Panda's dream has come early this week. Does that mean we'll get a dry race tomorrow, maybe? Do you think we'll have a dry race tomorrow? For a change?
Oh, I'll believe it when I see it.
So then, well, that makes it more interesting then. I suppose whether or not, I mean, it looks very grey, so whether or not it's going to stop raining at any points is the next question. And of course, who was running a dry setup to get the qualifying pace? Who was running a wet setup for the race? Who was running something a little bit in between? I mean, I guess we'll find out in the race then, as to who has the best strategy for both.
Koi Corp predicting that everybody's going to crash in turn 1 and Pagani's going to take the home victory.
Will everybody go full Goy into turn 1? Well, find out. So then, running down the grid then, Sam Gamer takes his first pole position in his second race in FTRL TMC. CR7 joins him on the front row. Can he go... Well, can he go one better? He was so close to a P2 in Spa and then dropped it on the final lap and just salvaged a top 10 in the end. Can he rectify that wrong from Spa and come home with a strong result? He lines up P2. Dutch Tricks, man who closed the gap at the top of the championship last week, he lines up P3 alongside him. Last week's race winner Tico in the Red Bull starts 4th. Scuba, championship leader, had a trying week last time, conceded some ground to Dutch Tricks, but still leads the championship now with just 3 races to go. He lines up P5 alongside Wesker, who just didn't have the pace in the wet weather part of the race last week. He had good early pace in the dry, but when it got wet he just slipped backwards through the order. He'll be hoping for a better run this time. He starts P6. Ox Hawks will be hoping to last a little bit longer than he did last week, crashing out after 1 lap. Lines up P7 alongside Adamako, who was driver of the day last week, came through from the back of the pack. A very strong result for him. Can he keep up his good form? He lines up 8th. Behind him is his teammate, the home man, Enduro Chris, P9 for the second of the Ferraris, and Lynx rounds out the top 10 for AlphaTauri. Tom Duval, who starred last week in Bahrain, he lines up P11 with Sway alongside him in the Racing Point. Lennon 13th for Williams, with Jack Sheeder joining him on the 7th row. Graham is P15 in the Renault ahead of AP. Corboy starting 17th, Zumpy in P18, and Pagani rounding off the runners. Everybody on the intermediate tyre, so not too wet at this moment. Are we just going to see a straightforward intermediate race throughout? Will the rain get heavier? Well,
let's see your predictions in the chat also.
Yes, what are we saying then? What do you think, Max? I think Sam's coming with a lot of a big reputation and has showed his pace in this one. I think he will win, but I think CR7 will run him close. And I fancy Dutch to take 3. I think the top 3 will stay as they are. I think Scuba's in that position again where he needs to think about his strategy a little bit more carefully if he's behind his teammate, because we saw last week how he lost out having to double stack. So exactly. I think that could be key for him again. Also for Tico, actually, having his teammate in front of him. What about you, Max? What do you reckon then, top 3?
I think, like you say, he's going to stay like it is.
Stay it is. There we go then. So we are waiting for some lights to come on and then to go off. You can't see them. There's 3, there's 4, there's 5.
And
we are racing. It is a good start from the front row. I think Dutch Tricks has had a good start as well. Racing Point of Ox Hawks moving around in the background. Dutch Tricks is up the inside of CR7 into turn 1. CR7 runs around the outside though. but Dutch is going to get the run off the corner. A bit of contact. Here comes Tico looking to make it 3 wide. That's brave. Oh, whoa, boys. We've got a yellow flag in the background. One of the Williams has gone, but it's Callboy. Sorry, it's one of the Renaults. Tico gets ahead of Dutch. Scuba's been swallowed up by Oxox and one of the Ferraris, but they're now taking each other wide. The game goes a little bit crazy. So the scoring goes a bit mental, and so sorting itself out again now, is it? Or maybe it might actually be AP at the back.
AP at the back.
It is AP at the back as well. I thought it was a Williams. So he's had some contact somewhere, and Scuba has lost 2 positions off the start. That's not a good lap start for him. And Joe Chris looking at Wesker into the chicane. But the perfect start from Sam Gamer. He leads by, it says 0.3 of a second. Definitely a little bit more than that. So they round the right-hander for the first time. He's got a healthy lead there over CR7. Who's got Tico behind him now. Dutch Tricks is 4th, Oxox 5th, Scuba back up to 6th, and he's got back ahead of Adamako. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, Sway's gone.
Oh no.
So Sway has crashed out on that fast right-hander at the end of the back. Safety car on lap 1.
Aye.
So this will help AP get back onto the tail of the field. Now, obviously Sam Gamer's not going to want to see the safety car because he had quite a healthy lead after the first few corners. So safety car on the opening lap then. Sway's car has already disappeared, but the safety car already on its way. So that'll just help everybody just settle down, calm a few nerves. Into the pits comes Jax. No, it's Adamako. No, it is Jax Ashida into the pits, and Graham as well. So have they picked up some wing damage on that opening lap? That's going to help them definitely, because it means they can get a free pit stop. Yep, ring replacement for Jax. Graham as well. Yep, he picked up some wing damage in that, so this helps them because they get a free pit stop. Just drops them to the back of the train. But fresh rubber's probably not going to be that advantageous at this stage because obviously everybody on fresh tyres anyway, and they only won 1 lap. But new wings for them, and they can catch the back of the train ready for when we start racing again.
They'll be re-racing really quick because they're going to catch up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
so it might be this lap or the next lap.
I'd imagine that with Sway's car already been cleared away, you would think they could probably get going straight away, but we shall see. The big mover off the start has been Zombie, who was up 6th place into P12. So he had a good opening lap. Graham and obviously Jack's both down 3 places. Pagani's up 4, Callboy's up 3, and Tico up 1, Oxox up 2. He's had a good start then from 7th up to 5th. Adamako up 1, Wesker down 2 again. There's just not getting on with the wet conditions. It's quite a tricky first few corners. We saw 3 wide there going down towards turn 3. Tico, Dutch and CR7. Tico there shuffling Dutch back one as he did last week. Did it on strategy last week though. This time he's done it on the track. Right, so Sam Gamer leads. No notification of safety car is in yet. Not quite sure where the marker will be for it on this circuit. I would have thought if we were going to go racing this lap it would have told us already.
I think it's maybe next lap probably.
Yeah, looks like we're going to get 1 more lap under the safety car then. So we'll take this opportunity just to fill you in what is coming up on FTRL for the rest of the week then. So we've already had ACC this week, round 4 from Brands Hatch last night. I've also had performance from Vietnam last night. Had victories for Callum Cripps once again in ACC, and it was a duel of AlphaTauris in Hanoi that went in favour of AJU. Oh, Callboy picks up a penalty for collision with Pagani under the safety car. Oh dear, that is not what you wanted, boys. It looks like Pagani might have hit the back of Callboy because Pagani's behind him on track, which means that Pagani's gone into the back of him, and they both picked up 5-second penalties. And with the amount of racing left to do, you'd imagine they're going to have to serve those in the race. I got hit twice last week and had to serve both my penalties in the race, which definitely hampered my race. So I could appreciate the pain those two are suffering. So those two have collided on the safety car once again, just tripping over each other. I've seen it a number of times this season. It's easy to do, just closing up the gaps. So that's unfortunate for them. So they will serve that 5-second penalty when they take their pit stop. Where were we? Yeah, that was it. So yeah, Vietnam last night, AJU beat his teammate Tom Duval He had a great run last night, with Kieran Trapp taking the third step on the podium. Of course, tomorrow we're back here at Paul Ricard for Div 2, same time, same place, 8 o'clock on the FTRL channel. Academies, of course, lost out big time last week with a crash on the opening lap, which let Dan Morris close in that battle for the championship. And just 3 races to go. That has now got very interesting again. Who will prevail then on Thursday? Then we've got the rescheduled, the safety car in this lap. The rescheduled GT2 race from Lago Maggiore. The title was wrapped up last week by Fiebe, so he is the champion. But some pride going out then with the season with a bang. Who wants to round off the season with the final victory? And then on Friday we've also got the rescheduled Group 4 race from GT1, so some GT Sport action this week as well to look forward to. And so we've got one championship left to wrap up there, going on between Blue Flag, between Unsafe Release and between T Smith. So who will claim the final GT1 victory of the season? And here we go then. Sam Gamer lights up the rear tyres, just stretches the field. Has he gone? Oh, big switch there. He has gone. The Sam Gamer's going for it, gone for it early, let the safety car get away. Will everybody get around the final corner? Okay, Tico on his toes. You can see everybody quite close up behind, so no big gaps. Into the pits has come Pagani, so he picked up some wing damage in that collision. And we are racing again, and Tico on the attack. On the run of turn 1, not close enough though. Drops back in, Sam gets a good launch. Tico looking to make it a Red Bull 1-2. Any movement further back? Everybody seems to be as you were. So Sam Gamer got a big jump. He's 1.2 seconds ahead already. Already around turn 5 and 6. Onto the back straight we go. Oh, Ferrari's there quite wide. I think that's Enduro Chris. Look at this train then from second all the way back to Wesker in P8. Nobody quite close enough in this gaggle to make a move. Yeah, nobody close, but nobody close, but not close enough. Sam Gamer then stretching his legs. CL7 seems to have settled down again now. But everybody still very tightly bunched. Tico taking a slightly wider line there. Let's just let Dutch Tricks get back on his tail. Hawks in there as well. Jack Sashida goes past AP further back. So he's back up to 15th.
Call Zupi right on the back of links.
Now the final corner we come then. Gap is now 1.4 to the race leader, so he is getting the hammer down. And here we go then. Anybody get a very good run out the final corner? Some gamers the fastest lap.
Yeah. Zupi's making a move.
Yep, Zumpy goes past Links on the drag down the start finish straight. And that is him into P11. Good move from him. Another one who had a very solid run last week, P4 for him. Was threatening to take a podium from Tom Duval, just couldn't quite get on terms with him and then just dropped away in the final stages. But still a very strong result for him. Links, however, not being dropped though. They're now right on the back of Tom Duval, who's right on the back of Enduro Chris in turn. And you've got a bit of a gap from Chris up to Wesker, who's on the back of that train. All the way up to P2. Ox has had a good run, but I don't think he's close enough to Dutch to make a move into the chicane. Ox is looking menacing, as is Tico. So it's all just very finely poised at this stage. Adamako just slightly off the back of Scuba. You'll still be in slipstream range. Of course, no DRS in these conditions, so that will help people when defending. And obviously, it makes it a little bit trickier to overtake, especially the circuit where the DRS is very poor. Oh, Jack Shee's gone.
Virtual safety car.
The virtual safety car now, where he's crashed coming out again out of that right hand, although he's crashed a bit further along. Okay, pick up Pagani. He might be too far back. I think the car might have gone where he is, but you can see there on the bottom right corner of the map, he's gone round the fast right-hander. It looks like he's probably had a slide coming around the corner and then has hit the wall on the inside, and that is the end of his race after just 5 laps. So, second safety car intervention. This one just a virtual one though. Drivers need to be short, stay under the delta. Lennon takes the opportunity to pit as he picked up some damage. Of course, you lose less time. Oh, and AP's picks up a virtual safety car speeding penalty.
No.
So again, I want it over the delta. And we are racing again.
Racing
away we
again.
go. So just a quick VSC. And there we go. Who's on the toes? Scooping out on the back of Oxox, who's on the back of Dutch also. Wesker on the back of Adamako. We get onto the back straight then. Who's going to be close enough? Looks like Tom DeVal and Chris could be the battle to watch at the minute. Tom's had a good run off the corner. Now, does it look a little bit drier to you? I don't see any rain falling.
It looks like it's drying up, but
Oh, Chris is deep into the chicane. That's going to compromise his exit. Is Tom going to get the run off the chicane? He trying to get alongside, back into the slipstream. Yeah, it definitely looks drier. I think it stopped raining. Go on board with Tom DeVal. Now I can't see any rain falling. I can still see spray coming off the tyres. He's down the inside through the right-hander. That's a move done. Great move from Tom. Oh, Zumpy tries to go for the gap as well. Chris shuts the door in his face. Oh, and AP is gone.
Yellow flag. Oh no.
And AP's crashed at the same place that Jackson Sheena did. Another safety car.
Oh, Jesus.
Full safety car again then, so Sam Gamer's lead again evaporates. Into the pits comes Sam Gamer. In comes TR7. Tico pits, but he's going to stack, so Tico could be losing out here. Dutch is in. Yeah, everybody's pitting. Oh, Adamako's sped in the pit lane. Now, who's going to lose out? Everybody pitting. Everybody's taking this opportunity to pit. Yeah, it's dry. Yep, so here we go then. So I think everybody had to pit. Yeah, he couldn't wait. So Sam Gamer should hold on to the lead, which he does. CR7 still second. But Dutch tricks us up to third. Oxox is fourth. Tico down to fifth. Adamako is sixth. Wesker seventh. Tom DeVal. The big loser again is Scuba. Where is Scuba going to come out here? He had to pit. He had to pit, obviously, because obviously it's dry tyres now. He's going to come out in P11, 12. In fact. Right, now what tyre is Lennon on? Did Lennon go onto the... He did. Lennon went onto the medium tyres a lap early. Scuba is down to 12th. It's happened to him 2 weeks in a row. He's lost out massively in the pit stop sequence because of his position relative to his teammate. So Scuba is going to have it all to do from P12 with Dutch Tricks in P3. So who's gained out of that? Well, Dutch Tricks is up one to third. Oxox is now fourth. Tico's lost out. He's fifth. Adamako up to sixth. Wesker up to seventh. Zumpy's now up to eight. He's up 10 places since the start. Lynx is back into ninth. Lennon now up to 10th. Tom DeVal where he was in 11th, having just got that move on Enduro. Chris Dunn. Scuba's come out in P12 though. Massive loss for him again. Is this another race where the title just swings back in favour of Dutch Tricks? Because he had to pit, because he would have caught the safety car and then he'd be at the very back of the pack, so he saved himself at least 4 places, 4 people he doesn't now have to overtake. But Scuba getting lost out in the shuffle there big time. So we're going to have to see some overtaking now from the championship leader if he wants to leave Paul Ricard still leading the championship. See, the thing is, Scuba has had such an excellent run of form all season long. He's been up there every single week. And Dutch has had a couple of off races, but even in his off races, he's still done fairly well in terms of point scoring. So he hasn't lost out massively any week. And then Scuba, who's been just so imperious all season, one bad race last time out, lost him a massive chunk of his points, and now this week again lost out on the safety car, and potentially, unless seeing the penalty, depends what he can recover over the next 20 laps, potentially losing out big time again. Now he's got Tom DeVal ahead of him. You'd imagine he can pick off him. Should pick off Lennon. Lynx will be tricky. Zumpy could probably get it. Maybe Wesker, where he will really start to come up against tough racing Adamako, who's got that penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that's obviously going to affect him. And then obviously Tico, who's down to P5. trying to double stack behind his teammate, but he only lost out 2 places. Well, Scuba lost out 7. So mixed conditions again then. So everybody probably did qualify on dry setups.
Yeah. 1 safety car, 2 virtual safety cars. We're not even at lap 10.
Yeah, on lap 8 we've already had 2 full safety cars and about half a lap under a VSC. 3 retirements then, so Sway went on the opening lap. Brought out the first safety car, Jack Sashida then crashed at the corner we're now coming up to. Brought out a VSC, and AP went a couple of laps ago to bring out a second safety car of the race. Safety car then coming in this lap. So Sangamer will take over as the pace setter, starts to backfield up. Now we might see a true representation of these pace of these front 2. Now these 2 were half a second quicker than the rest of the field in qualifying. Obviously race pace is something very different. Got a lot more fuel in the car now, obviously on the medium tyre as well. So when does Sam pull the trigger? Not yet.
Like he did earlier.
Has he gone? Not yet, no. He's trying to... Has he gone now? I think he's gone. There he goes. There he goes, he's got a good jump there. Dutch is on his toes. On CR7, but yeah, that's a good start, or a good restart again from Sam Gamer. Oh, Dutch is trying to go on the attack at the final corner. I think CR7 had a moment. Ox also on his toes. Around the back of Dutch Tricks across the line. Is he going to have a look into turn 1? Tico defending from Adamako. Those 2 have a bit of history as well. It's as you were. Callboy goes past Lennon. Oh, Lennon's dropped back 2 places off the line. Oh, he's left the session. Oh, no. Lennon has lagged again as Scuba goes past Tom. He's already up 2 places. Scuba is charging. Sam Gamer has got a 1.1 second lead already. Again, a fantastic restart from him. Lennon's car dropping down the order as he's lagged out of the session. Once again, Lennon just so unlucky with that. Tico and Ox very close together. Tico had a good launch. Not quite close enough though. The chicane on the back straight. Scuba's got a big gap. So Scuba lost out quite heavily because Lennon's ghost car. That's a 1.7 second gap up to Lynx he's got to make up. And these guys ahead of him are no slouch. Neither of the guys behind him, to be fair, but yeah, the guys in front exceptionally quick. He's got a lot of ground to make up then. Ox around the back of Dutch Tricks. Tico around the back of him as well. Ox looking very racy. Dutch is also hanging onto the back of CR7. Into the final corner. It's complete lap 9. Look at this train of cars. Ox again right under the rear wing of Dutch Tricks. Can he pop out into turn 1? I don't think again, he's not close enough. Tom Duval pits. Has he picked up some wing damage? Drops him all the way to the back of the field. So a podium last week, looking very unlikely this week for him, unfortunately. He's going onto the soft tyre as well, so going for the fastest lap perhaps. Lennon back in the session, but the damage has been done to his race.
Somebody that does that Ox coming back closer. Dutch Tricks is going to be too much.
Not this time again. Adamako also starting to close back up on Tico. But he's still got Wesker tucked up behind him. Zumpy is right there as well, as is Lynx. Those guys are not going away. Scuba chipping away. He's taken about half a second out of the group ahead of him this lap, so he is coming. CR7 now starting to close the gap on Sam Gamer. That was 1.3. It's now down to a second. Just ebbing and flowing a little bit then as they sweep through these corners. Just starting to just give himself a little bit of a buffer from Dutch Tricks, who's still got Ox very much on his rear wing.
Apparently we got Lennon in the chat saying that the rain is coming back.
It's coming back. Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen a wet, dry, wet race.
Not
Well.
never ever.
Well, there we go then. First time Sam Gamer sets a new fastest lap than a 33.0 and DRS is enabled. So here we go then. The DRS train is about to start. Scuba is on the back of Lynx now. He has closed that gap as Callboy goes past Pagani. Oh, and Enduro Chris has picked up a second penalty. He's not having a good time at the minute.
On his home track.
Yeah, on his home track. It seems to be the curse of the home race, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've yet to see either of the Dutch boys take a win at Zandvoort. They have not won their home race yet either. Enduro Chris down in P11. He's putting some stunning drives this season. Has he got any wing damage? Or is he just... No, I think he's just pushing too hard and exploring track limits a little bit too much. Sam Gamer getting his foot down again, extending that gap up to 1.4 seconds again. Dutch Tricks 6/10 back from CR7. Ox just 3/10 back though. He is looking... Well, he's definitely made amends for last week. Exited the race at the end of the opening lap. It's just an all too brief return for our... I can't remember which season he won the championship. I think he's... I can't remember if he's won one or two championships in fact. So he's next FTRL champion anyway for Div 1. So very, very quick boy. And look at him mixing it here at the very front as they come out the final corner. Some game at new fastest lap 32.1. 2/10 away further from CR7. He is now getting the hammer down. Oh, Lennon again has lagged out. Codemaster Service and Lennon Stevenson just do not get on. Former Div 2 champion Lennon, season 9 I think it was. So again, very quick on his day. Fortunately, Codemaster Service says no. So gap to the race leader, 1.6 seconds. Sam Gamer looking very, very... Oh, Tom Duval sets the fastest lap on those soft tyres. Takes that away from Sam Gamer while the running is hot. Lennon saying that the wet weather might be returning before the end of this race, so keep an eye on that. Ox still trying to work a gap, an opening to attack Dutch Tricks. Tico right on his rear wing. It's easy for me to say.
As you also see, Lee, Ox also using all his ERS already.
Yeah, he's down at 11%, Dutch on 44, Tico on 38, exactly. So this is not really a circuit to... it's quite a difficult one to manage with ERS as well, because there's not really many heavy braking points to recharge.
That's true.
So it is very difficult to manage your ERS around here. See Sam Gamer on 32 as well. He's not really pushing that hard, he's obviously just building a gap. Ox has had a good run again. DRS is open, but Dutch has got DRS as well, so that's what's probably helping him, because he needs to stay within that second of the guy ahead. Lynx and Zumpy going at it. Lynx gets ahead of Zumpy. So, position gained for Lynx. Saw Zumpy overtake Lynx earlier. That's returning the favour, and he's back into P8. Scuba has caught the back of these two, but not made any further progress. He's now on the back of Zumpy. Look at the championship leader. See the right-hander onto the back straight then. Can he get a run? Zumpy, of course, will still have DRS from Lynx. Lynx will not have it though, because he is 1.6 seconds off the back of Wesker. Zumpy.
Talking about 1.6 seconds, Sam Gamer still gaining and still maintaining that lead in EMC.
Meanwhile, Dutch Tricks are starting to close on CR7. He's had a very good lap here. Close that gap in. Right on the back of it as they come through that right-hander. Ox has just dropped away a fraction. And now Tico on the attack of him. So he's going from attacking to defending. Oh, Dutch had a big moment on the curb. That cost him a couple of tenths. Gathers it up though. Adamako still very much on the back of Tico as well. Not looking to way through at the moment. He seems happy to just sit there for the time being. Again, showing very, very good pace. It goes under the radar a lot, Adamako. Showing what a very, very quick driver he is here. Now let's have a look at Scuba this time. Now Lynx is still in DRS as Zumpy. Zumpy's got that toe again.
They're gonna have to pit again, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, I mean, it just popped up there on the screen, two-stop strategy for the medium tyres, so 13 laps to go. Race leader picks up a penalty. Sam Gamer has been pushing the track limits. And he's picked up his third warning, and he's picked up a penalty now. Now he really needs to get his head down. Now what he does not need now is another safety car. That is definitely the last thing he needs now. So he'll be hoping the race runs clear for the rest of the going and he can just ease away. CR7 has just sort of nullified that gap. Oxhox is back on Dutch Trix's tail. Bringing Tico with him as well. Adamako just dropping a fraction away. Still in DRS range though. He has however got Wesker out of DRS range. Lynx and Zumpy still keeping Scuba at bay. So Scuba not making any further progress. So when is that rain going to return? Good evening, Peteman. Thank you for joining us. Chubb's there saying he reckons Scuba will get back to P5. Of course, Adamako's got a 5-second penalty to serve for speeding at the pit lane, so he will potentially drop back if everybody has to pit again. So yeah, the big drama. Oxox are right on the back of Dutch Tricks again. Into turn 1, not close enough. And what Scuba really needs at this stage is for Zumpy to fall out of DRS range of Lynx. Now Lynx is getting to within DRS range of Wesker, which might just pull him away from Zumpy. So we'll keep an eye on that gap. Onto the back straight we come again. This pack have just spread out a little bit. They're all kind of equally distanced apart.
There comes Dutch on Team C.
He's had a good shot this time. DRS pops open to the inside for the chicane, and that is P2 for Dutch Tricks. Does he make the corner? He does indeed. Can CR7 get a launch out of the chicane though and come back at him?
Lee, is it raining again? Yeah, it is.
Can't see. I can't see anything yet. Yes, I can. It's raining. Yeah, it's raining again.
Oh, yeah.
So now again, this looks like it could. Well, the problem is going to be for Tico and for Scuba, because obviously they've got their teammates in fairly close proximity, and they can't pit early for wet weather tyres because that will just destroy their race. So they can only go when it's definitely raining. Now Scuba might be far enough back that it's not going to hurt him too much, but Tico is definitely in a place where he's at risk from losing out again if they have to pit on the same lap. Now the gap is now up to 2.3 from Sam to Dutch, who's now second. Of course, CR7 now with the DRS, and Oxox looking very racy as well. So he's not finished with that podium yet. Scuba finally gets past Zumpy. And there we go into the first corner. So Scuba up to P9 now, and he can set about trying to chase down Lynx. Scuba now just starting to pick them off. That's one down into P9. So the back straight Oxox is very close, and he's already got a run on CR7. CR7 could be about to lose another place here. Oxox on the overtake.
He doesn't have enough ERS.
No, he doesn't have an ERS. CR7 gets close to Dutch to the braking zone for the chicane. Dutch goes a little bit hot, gets it stopped. What a battle these two had at Spa as well, and we're getting a repeat here at Paul Ricard. Through that fast right-hander. Tico's now buying back into this as well. These four cars nose to tail. CR7 not done with Dutch Tricks. Oxox very much looking for a podium. Tico waiting to pick up the pieces. That's the rain just starting to fall. A little bit more heavy now. You can see it falling again. In the background, Lynx is on the back of Wesker now as well. So Wesker's dropping away from Adamako. Look how close Oxox is through that final corner. Adamako actually coming back into this as well. Once again, Oxox, great slingshot off the final corner, but again, not got enough ERS to really look at how close he's pushing him around the first couple of corners. Fantastic racing from these five in fact, if you include Adamako, just nose to tail, and you don't think at any stage that anybody's going to run to the back of the other.
No.
I have every confidence that they can do this for lap after lap. Look, that's getting heavier now, the rain. It's not going to be far away now. Scuba might benefit from the fact that he is a little bit further back. I can't see any spray yet, and it's not disabled the DRS. So that's the telling time. That'll be when it's definitely wet enough for to go back to intermediates. Chris has very quickly caught the back of Zombie, so Zombie now just dropping away a little bit. He had a bit of a moment.
Oh, we got Tico making a move on Oxox, yeah.
Oh,
very good on the inside there.
Yeah, getting to the inside of that right-hander. Move done, and Tico back up to P4. Just switched away from that momentarily to have a look at Zombie and Enduro Chris and missed the overtake. Sorry, Tico.
I didn't expect it at all. I was just on the AJ's camera, and then on the right side there goes Tico passing by. Beautifully done, very clean.
They have also just started to chip away at the lead of Sangama. It was about 2.3, 2.4 seconds. It's back down to just 2 seconds, so he's lost a couple of tenths on that lap. Rain now probably playing a part in that. These 5, how close they're running. Lynx and Wesker also running nose to tail. Scuba giving chase, trying to close back in. I feel it's damage limitation for Scuba this week now. Barring any major dramas ahead, what's going on onto the back straight we go again. DRS still active.
I think
CR7's had a good run. CR7's had a very good run with the DRS. You think the Dutch is not going to have enough to defend with the lack of DRS. The through goes CR7, move done. Back up to P2.
Great racing.
These two exchanging places like they did, and Zumpy there and Enduro Chris are going at it as well into the chicane. Side by side, bit of wheel banging. Enduro Chris gets the move done, but he gets a penalty on the exit of the corner.
Oh no.
Oh, and ahead of them, Wesker and Lynx go side by side into the right-hander. Through goes Lynx, up into P7. Wesker trying to come back up the inside into the next corner. Lynx shuts the door. Action up and down the field.
Shut the front door.
Shut that front door, yeah. And all this battling is just letting Scuba close in ever so slightly. It's also helping. And Sam Gamer just inch away again. Back onto complete lap 17, onto lap 19 we go, sorry. Gap is back up to 2.2. So he's pulled a couple of turns, says the guys behind him are squabbling. Nobody close enough for a move into turn 1. Scuba now in DRS range of Wesker. So he's got Wesker now in his sights. Again, he's just slipping backwards, Wesker. Lynx haven't got ahead of him, but still clinging onto his coattails. Let's head through the winding section to the bottom of the track. Second gear right-hander. See the rain falling, but no sign of anybody diving in. But you can see the rain falling constantly now. It's not going to be long. You feel before switch back over to wet weather tyres. Sam Gamer driving well. He leads the race still. 2.1 seconds. TMC just open that gap up to Dutch a little bit, so he's not under threat. See the lap time, he's 1.5 seconds down on his ultimate lap pace there at CR7, so that's how much time they're losing under the cushion. Scuba goes past Wesker for P8. Coming out of the chicane, move done, up to P8 goes Scuba.
Next target, Lynx for him.
Yeah, he's been chasing Lynx for a while. Lynx has been scurrying away. He passed Sumpy first, he passed Wesker next, and Scuba just following him through. However, there's now 3.9 seconds up to Adamako, who's on the back of this pack ahead. Again, not in the pits, so it's still too dry for wet tyres. CR7's got a nice gap to Dutch because it's enough that he's not really under threat. So, even with the DRS. Fling through the first couple of corners again. Adamako just keeps on watching brief. Further back, the Renault's into the pits comes Corboy. Corboy has blinked. Oh, CR7 picks up a penalty. Track limits on the circuit are very difficult, obviously, because it's all just tarmac. It's very difficult to...
Corboy intermediates.
Yeah, he's gone onto the interstate. He's the first to go. Which means it probably can't be far away. I imagine Jeff has called him to tell him to do that. Ox got a good run. Tico just defending into the braking zone there. Just pulled to the inside. I don't know if he's just either showing himself in Dutch's mirrors to try and put him off. Scuba goes past Lynx into the chicane. Scuba up to P7. The fight back is on. And you feel that he is... Let's have a look at the gap to the race leader. So Scuba is 6 seconds back from his teammate, which might be enough that he doesn't get too hindered when they pit, if they pit on the same lap. TK starting to work over Dutch tricks, Ox as well. So race leader doesn't pit. Does anybody break? Adamako in. Adamako blinks. In comes Lynx as well. Scuba's carried on. It can't be far away now. Can't be far away now. Got too many people coming in. So race leader still Sam Game. It's now 2.5 seconds. It's looking dark though. It does look wet. I imagine this could be the lap he comes in. Still can't see any spray coming off the back of the cars though, but the amount of people are now in. Graham pits as well. So Adamako is serving his 5-second penalty as well. Who was that? Pagani with a penalty there. Tico goes past Dutch.
Tico past Dutch, yeah.
So Tico back up to P3. But again though, you feel he's going to lose out in the pit sequence with this proximity to Sam. He is 3.7 seconds back. Lynx has just passed Pagani. Now Lynx has pitted. He's come back out on medium tyres.
Oh.
Now was that an accident is my question, because I can't imagine he would do that.
Drying up.
No, that's a very odd call considering what everybody else is doing. So Corboy, Graham, Adamako have all gone onto the mediums. And what does Sam Gamer do this time? He is carrying on again.
Oh,
CR7's in. Dutch is in. Tico's carried on. So both Red Bulls have carried on.
Scuba stays out. Scuba stays out.
Scuba stays out. I think that's a sensible thing to do. If it's still dry enough for some drivers, but I think he'll be in next time around. CR7's gone onto the soft tyre. Is that... Oh. What is going on here? That's two drivers now who've put on fresh, dry weather tyres. What is going on here? I think I can see a bit of spray coming off the back of Tico's car now. It definitely looks wetter. That's a very odd car. I can only think that's a mistake. Although there's only 6 laps to go. So it could be a masterstroke. If it stays like this, and they've all gone on to intermediates and it's going to stay dry. Is it going to get wet enough? Pagani's pitting. What tyres does he put on? Oh, this is this could go either way now. CR7 might have either just pulled up a masterstroke or has dropped a testicle. Or has Dutch, and everybody who's pitted for the intermediates, have they made a mistake? Because Chris has also pitted for soft tyres. Are they banking on it staying dry enough, not getting wet enough? Oh, this is now getting very interesting. Tico's in, so Tico's pitted. Scuba, what does Scuba do? Scuba's in as well, so they're coming in. But what tyres are they going on to? What's Tico going to put on? Tico's got soft tyres. Tico's going for the soft tyre. What's Scuba going for? He's got soft tyres as well.
Jesus.
They're going for it. Is it not going to get wet enough? There's only 5 laps to go. Dutch Trick's coming out of the final corner. Have these guys who've put intermediates on made a mess of this? Lynx on his mediums is now up to P5. He's had a big gain then. So current running order, Sam Gamer still carried on those medium tyres. Are they going to last is my question now, because it did say a 2-stop on the mediums. So are those medium tyres going to last? Does he need to pit? CR7 is out on the soft tyre. He's now going to be charging after Sam Gamer. He's going to be taking chunks. Oh, Sam having a big wobble there out of the chicane. Tico as well, come out in third. He's cleared Dutch Tricks quite comfortably. Scuba has been jumped by Enduro Chris, who's on the back of Oxox, who is struggling. I think the intermediates are the wrong tyre at this stage anyway. It's still too dry, and Oxox loses position to Scuba and Chris. Is Dutch Tricks going to regret this decision?
I think he is looking at the interval between
Sam has to pit surely. Sam is in. Yep, Sam's in. So race leader in. But has he lost too much time to CR7, who is now under 20 seconds behind him? They've both got penalties. Tico is almost in prime position here. He's literally 3 seconds behind CR7.
Soft tires. No, intermediates for the race leader.
Oh, Sam's gone to intermediate. That's a mistake, surely. Surely that's a mistake. Lynx is on the back of Dutch Tricks. Scuba is closing rapidly. Where is CR7 here? Where's Sam? Sam's at the end of pit lane. I think CR7 is going to take the lead. He does. He did. Through he goes. CR7 leads. Through goes Tico as well. Sam's on the wrong tyre. It's the wrong tyre, surely. Here comes Dutch. He's got Lynx tucked right under behind him into turn one. Lynx down the inside. Oh, Dutch comes across the nose. Shuts the door for now. But Lynx is all over the back of him. Scuba's closed a second on this lap. Lynx again down the inside. Dutch gives him a little bit of room. There's a bit of contact there. Tico's going to win this race currently. He's only 2 seconds behind the race leader. The intermediates are the wrong tyre. You can see spray off the back of Sam's car. But I don't think it's enough.
Tico's got the net lead.
Yeah, Tico's the net race leader. He has no penalties. So the man who always gets penalties. And now look, Scuba is right on the back of Lynx, who's right on the back of Dutch Tricks. We've got guys on soft tyres, we've got guys on medium tyres, we've got guys on intermediates.
Never seen before.
Enduro Chris isn't out of this either. No, he's in contention on track, although we know he has at least 2, possibly 3 penalties. So Chris, unfortunately, is going to lose out quite badly here on the penalty shuffle. But this race, as you can see, it's raining still. It still looks raining quite heavily, but the dry tyres, although now Dutch is pulling away from Lynx. DRS is disabled. Is the switchover? Are now the intermediates are now the tyre to be on, surely? You can see the spray coming off the back of Sam's car.
Yes.
Is this race about to turn and flow the other way? Tico's sliding in a straight line. Into the pits comes Enduro Chris. Scuba and Lynx are side by side out the final corner. Down towards the one. Scuba's got the inside. Through he goes onto the brakes. Yes, he gets the move done. But now the track seems to have turned back to the intermediate runners. You can see the spray now from Sam's car. He's now starting to take chunk of time out of Tico. Tico's caught another second on CR7.
It's raining more. It's raining more.
It's definitely heavy now. Now it's raining. DRS has got this. Wow. This is better conditions than we had last week when we rigged it. And now Sam coming back at them, but he has that penalty, so Tico's still in the net race lead. Dutch is now pulling away from Scuba, but Scuba just a point behind. This is going to be a massive, let-off for him if he can hang on to it. The next intermediate run is Oxox, who's now on the back of Lynx. So Oxox is coming back at them, having been... Yeah, look at how much more grip he's got. There he goes, past Lynx easily. But we're about to start the penultimate lap. Oh, who was that? Side by side, I think I might have been Sam Gamer going past the ghost car of Lennon. Where's the guy? Lynx and Oxox still running together, but Oxox is now starting to pull away. Sam Gamer is back on the back of Tico and CR7. The top 3 covered now by less than a second. Oh, Tico's sideways.
No,
and through goes Sam Gamer. Tico there almost dropped it. Oh, look at him. Oh,
Tico.
Sam Gamer weaving down the straight to get a bit of heat in his tyres. Was that just to let CR7 know he's on the right tyre? CR7 is going to be defenceless here, you feel. Wesker has just passed Lynx, who's in the pit. So Lynx has pitted again, and through into the lead goes Sam Gamer. Now he's got 1.5 laps to pull 3 seconds on Tico. The gap is currently 1.5.
Yeah, right.
Scuba's got Ox on the back of him here. You think Ox is going to make this fairly easy?
Look at Dush coming back. He was 5.2 seconds. Now he's 3.7, 3.6.
So he's flying as well. Tico is just dropping away. There goes Ox on Scuba. He's on the right tyres now.
Finished. This party ain't over.
This is not over now. You feel that Scuba's got 4 seconds back to Wesker. He's safe. Wesker's also got a penalty. Adamako on the intermediate tyres. He went early. Probably too early. Lynx has pitted. He's now P11. You think he might have been better to just try and struggle on. Although maybe he's worried about dropping it. Sam Gaber is now just pulling away from the two soft-rud tyres. Soft-shod cars behind him. He's now almost got that 3 second lead he needs. In fact, he's got the net race lead back.
Yep.
Dutch is now closing on CR7 and Tico. He's going to have 1 and a bit laps to get there.
What a race.
Wow. The weather making this one absolutely... Well, I thought the guys who put the intermediate tyres had blown it. But it has come back to them right at the very end.
The tricks on the tail of Tico. Can you believe it?
Look, oh, Tico again on the straight line, almost drops it up to the podium, goes Dutch. CR7's got a penalty, so it's pretty much a formality for Dutch now. Sam Gamer is away, and God, he's 5.5 seconds in the lead. Adamako is now 3 seconds behind Scuba. Can he catch him on the final lap? He's just dispossessed Wesker. We're on the final lap now. CR7, here comes Dutch, takes it on track. Oh, bit of a nerf. Oh, on the curbs there, CR7, you don't want to be there. Sam Gamer now 7 seconds ahead. He is absolutely flown away. Scuba now just 1.7 seconds ahead of Adamako, who's got rid of his penalty, so he's coming back at him. This will be for position on track.
Oh, the soft tyres are way too slippery. You can see
Tico passes CR7 on the track as well. Here comes Oxox. Oxox storming back towards these two. He's going to take the podium here potentially. Oh, contact! No, he's not. There's contact with CR7.
Oh, CR7 in the...
Oh, was
no.
that looked like there might have been contact between those two, and then a forced contact. I couldn't see because the camera cut away. But CR7's got wing damage. Through goes Adamako, who's past Scuba. Yellow flag. What was that for?
Gamer. Last turn.
Sam Gamer wins. Oh, Adamako's picked up a penalty. And that might let Scuba ahead of him. Sam Gamer wins. Fantastic drive from him. Brilliant result from him. Dutch Tricks is going to come back to take P2. Spit my words out. He takes second. Tico is going to salvage third, is he? Or is Oxox going to beat the other one to low? There's contact. He's in the wall. Yeah. Oxox steals the podium. Meters from the line. Tico gets fifth. Adamako's going to cross the line in fifth. Is Scuba going to jump him? He does, because Adamako picked up a penalty at the death. Zumpy takes P7. Wesker P8. Chris has crossed the line, but on penalties drops down to P9. CR7 down to P10. But what happened on that final lap with him and Oxox? Chris down to P11 as Lynx jumps up to P9. Graham crosses the line. He takes P12. Pagani's going to come home in 13th.
Oxox, P3, Oxox. Wow.
What happened on that final? Wow, Pagani's going to come home for P13. Tom Duval behind him might jump him on penalties here. I don't know how many penalties Pagani's got. There is not enough for Tom Duval to jump him. Callboy drifting down the start finish rate. Not his night. He crosses the line in 15th with Ledden a lap down in 6th. Wow.
Wow, exactly.
That race ebbed and flowed in those last 5 or 6 laps like you would not believe. Zumpy takes driver of the day. He's been up and down the order as well. So Sam Gaber is your winner. Dutch Tricks takes P2. Oxox takes P3. Yeah. Well, what a race, what a finish.
I don't know what to say.
What a finish that was. Absolutely.
Wow.
Captain Chubbs has called it in the chat. He got P5 for Scuba, and Scuba stole it on that. Adamako picking up that penalty, giving Scuba P5, and that is a really good recovery. I think, if anything, that might leave us with a joint top penalty at the top of the standings, but we shall see. Sam Gamer wins. That is not up for discussion. Dutch Tricks comes home P2. Ox Hox, after all those dramas on the final lap, steals P3. On the run to the last, Tico, who we saw have a big moment in a straight line for the 2 laps previously, again has a moment in front of Ox into the wall. Ox jumps him on the run to the line. Tico comes home for Scuba, salvages P5. Adamako P6 despite that penalty. Good recovery from Zumpy P7 from 18th on the grid. Wesker rounds P8, Lynx P9 and CR7, who had done such an excellent job for most of that race, again sees a podium desert him on the final lap, and only P10 to look to take home. I think he'll be disappointed with that. Chris come home in P11, couple of penalties for him, 3 penalties for him, dropping him down the order. Graham P12, Pagani 13th, Tom Devar 14th, Corboy 15th, Lennon, whose game just does not want to let him complete the races, in 16th with AP, Jack Sashida and Sway, the 3 retirements. Well, how are we going to top that tomorrow, Max?
I have no words. No words. I'm just going to say he's going to be dry. He's going to be dry.
Yeah, I'll take a dull dry race anytime, but no, there we have it then. What a race from Div 1 once again. The weather plays its part. Sam Gamer takes an emphatic victory. Dutch Tricks doing what Dutch Tricks does. Scuba with a fantastic recovery there after everything seemed to go against him today, salvaging a P5. Ox comes back for a podium. Well, that was something special from Div 1 once again. What a race, and we get to do it all again tomorrow, so thank you very much for joining us tonight. Well, any final thoughts on that one, Max?
Let's see tomorrow.
Let's see tomorrow. What can tomorrow bring? Well, that is the end of the curve. Indeed, congrats to Sam. What a drive from him. He led that one from the front, and even with that penalty, when he thought that race might have been getting away from him, timed his final pit stop to perfection. Takes the victory.
Wow.
And it wasn't really in doubt, indeed. Great job from him. Great job from everybody who came home in that one. Again, changeable conditions. You could have gone wrong at any time. So well done to everybody who put on what another fantastic show in FTRL. So thank you very much for joining us. That's the end of the coverage tonight. Thank you for everybody in the stream who's commented. Do give it a like if you haven't already done so. That helps us out massively, and we appreciate everybody coming in and watching and commenting. And we will do it all again next week. Next week we are... Where are we next week?
Russia.
Another car park circuit, but this one doesn't disappoint, so there's hope for Russia yet. We shall see how we get on. So do join us next week for the penultimate round of the season's Div 1 Championship as we get closer and closer to crowning our Season 15 champion. It's all getting very close at the top with just 2 races to go. So that is it for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you then.